السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين ورحمة الله للعالمين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، inshallah we'll continue where we stopped last time, inshallah. Huna Ibrahim.
ذرهم يخوضوا ويلعبوا حتى يلاقوا.
Is this where we stopped?
No?
Is this?
على أن نبدل خيرا منهم ونحن المسبوقين جدا.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The next one is فذرهم يخوضوا
Mm-hmm.
ويلعبوا. Right?
No.
فذرهم يخوضوا ويلعبوا حتى يلاقوا يومهم الذي يوعدون. يوم يخرجون من الأجداث سراعا كأنهم إلى نصب يوفضون. خاشعة أبصارهم ترهقهم ذلة. ذلك اليوم الذي كانوا يوعدون.
تفضل.
So leave them to plunge in vain talk and play about until they meet their day which they are promised, the day when they will come out of the graves quickly as racing to a goal, with their eyes lowered in fear and humility, ignominy covering them all over. That is the day which they were promised.
نعم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, now close to the end of the surah, states a matter of fact now. Leave them alone. What are they doing? يَخُوضُوا وَيَلْعَبُوا. يَخُوضُوا, imagine you are walking on the shore, and then you're going to enter the water. While you are stepping firm on the ground, you see where you step in and you know where you're going. But then if you get to the water and the water reaches your ankle, then you don't quite know where your next step is going to be. And if the water goes a little bit higher, then you really don't know what's going on. Okay? This is khawd, like khawd, meaning that you are entering a territory that you have no idea what it is. Okay? But you are acting like you are confident of what it is. So here it is a matter of speech, a matter of ideas, a matter of conversation. Okay? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls it li'b. وَيَلْعَبُ. And la'ib is a play. And a play, some plays could have benefits, right? The benefit could be something that when the play ends, you are now having more knowledge about certain thing, more practice about something or another that would help you in matters that is not play, right? So you go, meaning could you call, playing a game of soccer or basketball or something is a play? It is a play. You are setting a goal of what to do in this game, rules, and you're following it, and you're trying to compete in it, or just you play and put in a goal for yourself to do something. And while you are doing that, you are gaining experience, you're gaining maybe, some kind of cardio benefit, you're getting clever in planning, whatever it is. And if there are others there that you're dealing with, some experiences in camaraderie and this and that. But that is a preparation for something else. So the play itself is not the goal. But if the play becomes the goal itself, so scoring a point, that would be the issue, right? Then there is something wrong there. Because that's what you're going to be focusing on in your life. This is what your life is going to be about. And it is going to be about nothing. Okay? So, يَخُوضُ وَيَلْعَبُ. They're going into territory they do not know, and they're playing. So this becomes the issue here. Okay? What is it that what is the goal, and what the purpose of all what they're doing, and what is the objective, and so forth? Nothing with value. Okay? And there is, when you are trying to reach a point in matters, you are gaining information to be able to make a decision and be able to make a difference, or at least reach some concrete information about what you are searching about, right? So if the matter is the unseen, so what are you going to do? Where is the information that you have, the data that you're getting to work with? It has to be given to you because you cannot get it yourself. So it has to be from a khabar that is yaqeen, a news and information from a source that's authentic. Okay, that is logic, right? And they use logic and to a certain point with the tools that they put, right? In other words, they say you have to, when you reach a conclusion, you have to reach it by an experiment that you can, test, okay, and get results from it, and then that result would be the information that you're looking for. So there is a process, okay, a process that is clear, okay. So if you cannot do the experiment, what are you going to do, right? You're going to go to somebody else that you trust that had that experiment, okay? So they tell you that water is H2O. So you do not have to go and try to find it anymore, what it is, what two gases are together in the water anymore. Because that was done already, and it was given to you. And you take it as a matter of fact now. And you build on it and you trust it, right? And then you can do experiment now with this, okay? Building upon the experiment of the others, okay? What if this issue, nobody experiment with it anymore, nobody, had any information about it anymore, okay? So logically, because of you're a man who's logic and trying to reach, because they talk to Rasulullah ﷺ this way, right? How are we going to come back? How are we going to come back? We did not see anybody come back from those who came before, and so forth. So they try, okay? So if there is information that is not available, and it has to be coming from some kind of a unknown source then, okay? But that source, you cannot take it as it is unless the source is confirmed, and the source is trusted, and the information is from the source, and we know it is from the source, and there is an evidence of that. So there is still an evidence. There is still a process. There is still a proof, right? So here is Rasulullah ﷺ comes to them with a proof that this is from Allah. with an argument that this is from Allah, with a question and answer if you want to come in, and if you want to find faults in it, come on and find faults. So there is still a process, okay? But the process to confirm the source, and this is authentic source, not a process of saying just experiment with it and be able to touch it, taste it, and see it and hear it. No. Okay? So at the end of the conversation, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, let them go and yakhudu yal'abu until they see the day that they are promised, until they're going to come back to me. Okay? And sometimes we'll fall into the trap to be dragged into conversations like this, right? And ideas like this, which is if they talk about an issue so much as if it is now, it is the truth. I mean, the lie, once it is repeated so many times, then with the public, the everyday person looks at it as if it is a matter of fact. Why? Because it was said so many times. And now those who are supposedly with high intellect, they use it as a fact. Who are you now? You're not going to use it as a fact, right? If such and such person, okay. I was listening to a sheikh who was making, and he's a scientist as well, making this point with an example of something did happen in a science magazine that's very famous, and they do not publish except that which is high level of research and so forth. They published a paper with a couple of scientists that are Chinese scientists. And the study was about the hand, okay? The hand and how intricate the hand is, how, the ligaments and the bones and how, the distance between each bone and the other and the location of how to function. And how the muscles and tendons and so forth, and how it's wrapping around in certain area, tight and loose and other and so forth. So a big study about this wonderful, instrument here. And then they after while they were doing that in the paper, they mentioned the word, the creator, a couple of times. A creator, okay? Decided this or did this or something like that, okay? And it was like a matter of just passing by, just in a couple of places in the whole paper. And it was published. And then there were those who looked at it and criticized the magazine, okay? Saying, how dare you to publish such a paper that mentioning the creator. So they looked at it and they said, they apologized. We're sorry. It's just it escaped us. We did not see it, and they pulled it out. Okay, and now the scientists they're saying, we're sorry. It's a matter of mistranslation. When we say the word creator in Chinese and the one who translated to English, we do not really mean, and they're apologizing now, okay? We do not mean really a creator, okay? Yes, okay? And it turned, and now scientists and all of them came together to protect the dignity of this process, that how could you mention Al-Khaliq in it? You understand? And all this documented, okay? And they call it the Creator Gate, okay? They call it the Creator Gate, okay? Because it became, okay? And you wonder, you were looking at these magazines at something dignified, something that you trust, this and that, which, they bring papers and things that are solid and good and so forth and beneficial. But the hidden agenda you do not see until something like this happens. Okay? That is eagerness of destroying anything has to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And standing, and by the way, the one who was saying that and brought this research and put it beautifully in a talk, and he has a combination of, he's a sheikh who knows Quran and Sunnah, and he is a great scientist. He has a doctorate degree in different things and so forth, right? So he's familiar and talks the language of scientists, okay? And very intricate in these matters, right? So the reason he had to do this is somebody sent him a voice, message, okay? And he actually played it at the beginning of his talk, right? So he presents those who are criticizing him in the open, and he deals with it in the open. So the one who criticized him says, "You guys, you talking about about the Darwin's theory and on all of this, are you against it? Why don't you go and write a paper and get a Nobel Prize, right? Why don't you why are you sitting there complaining this and that? Why don't you write a paper, do this and that, send it, and we'll be happy for you. Just could you answer me, please? Why wouldn't you do that? So he played that clip, and then he said, okay. And he mentioned all of this, what was happening with the paper, this particular paper, and so forth. So that is khawd, right? That is khawd. That is not going into the unknown and trying to research it honestly, but it is deciding what they want as a result ahead of time and protecting it. That is being cowardly, right? It is easy to pick a point and protect it. It's easy to pick a point and protect it, okay? We can decide now in one matter, in one issue, and say this is the result we want. No matter what happened, this has to be the result. And let us be clever in protecting it. That is being cowardly. Okay, why? Because you're not being honest. You want to reach a conclusion, open up without having a conclusion ahead of time, and let's research it and bring all debates and all research around, so we can together find out what the result is and so forth, okay? But because there is the agenda has to do with this dunya, has to do with accumulating from it certain things and so forth, and control and other things, and shaitan is working with them and so forth, then the war is there against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what it is. And it's not hidden. Shaitan said that. Stood up and challenged, and he said, I'm going to take them astray. I'm going, to come from the right, from the left, from the front, from the back, from all directions to take them astray. Okay? And the workers of shaitan are there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, let them يَخُوضُوا يَلْعَبُوا حَتَّى يُلَاقُوا يَوْمَهُمُ الَّذِي يُوعَدُونَ. That until they'll find yulaqu. What is yulaqu? Liqa is a meeting. So yulaqu here, it has the impression of there is an appointed time and you cannot help but you are moving forward toward it. And you're going to be there. And not only there is destination for you, no, it is a destination for other things as well. So that is liqa. Okay? Liqa meaning a meeting, if you will, you're going to have. So there is other things will be there. So you are denying all these other things, but you cannot help but to walk toward it, and you will get there. So they will be coming out. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling them what's going to be happening to them. They'll be coming out and in competing, or not competing, running toward what? Okay? You know, where are you going then? And what is it that you want to achieve then, or you can achieve then? Nothing. Okay? But this is how you're going to be. That you're coming out and you cannot help but to be in confusion. Okay? In a fear of being really out of control. Because what you can control, what you used to be able to control, is no longer existing. Okay? And remember that concept of not being able to control things is a concept that is beautiful with a believer and scary with a disbeliever. Right? Because as a believer, you know that what you're doing is taking the means, but what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decide will happen, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala truly in control. But because you have to take the means, you have to make a decision, and you have to make a plan, and you have to be careful to stay on the path while you're making a decision and making a plan and having intention and all of that. So there's a lot of work. Okay? So when the time comes to say, you don't have to do that work anymore. Everything belongs to Allah now. And you're not going to be accountable in anything because the matter is done now. You're not in control of anything, period. That's a relief. A relief, alhamdulillah. Everything is in the hand of Allah truly, and I do not have to go through any kind of decisions now. Right? Go to the other hand, the one that thinks that the means, what he takes and his limbs, the external work, is the one that gives him result. So he thinks that he is in control. And then get to the point of losing control and not being able to do anything. That's scary. Why? Because somebody else will make decision for me. Some things that happen without my participation in it. That's scary now. Because the related results to the what they can do, and now they cannot do anything. And not only that, but they know the reality because they were told that this day will happen and you will be out of control, and then you'll be meeting your destination of hellfire now. The judgment is going to be there. So it is a scary feeling rather than a submissive and a submission kind of feeling that of comfort with a believer. So خاشعة أبصارهم ترهقهم ذلة. Okay, their vision, the way they look, it has khushu'ah, and it is exhausting them in humiliation. So imagine a scene where when you see the eyes and how the expression in the eyes, right? Because there is no control, right? There is no control whatsoever at that day. But so if there is a word to be said, also one will not be able to say it. If they want to complain, they want to scream, only if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will allow it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the expression in the eyes. Because that is the feeling that one has now. The horror, okay? And they cannot help to have khushu' then. But it's too late of a khushu'. Too late of a khushu'. Right? Like, the surah before it, they were asked to make sujood. Okay, when they were able to, and they cannot, or they did not. So therefore now they want to make sujood because the unseen became seen. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there. Now the angels are there. Now hellfire, they could see it there. Now paradise is ready, and so forth. So they want to make sujood, but it's too late. Now their eyes will give that expression in it, that the humility, and we are believers now. It is too late. It is too late. Because the matter becomes, we become an eyewitness to al-haq. Not al-haq in a way of ilm, al-yaqeen. We are now talking about it. And we believe in it as if we see it. And eventually, we will all experience it. Well, the absolute truth, we will experience it. And one of the work of shaitan is to get you to think of anything could be possible, and there is no absolute, right? Or anything could be right, so there is no absolute, right? So, but is this our way? When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, does he, or any prophet of Allah, alayhi salam ajma'in, that he comes in and say, your way is acceptable and our way is acceptable, we just have to get along and so forth, right? Can you imagine Ja'far ibn Abi Talib in Medina, in Abyssinia, okay? When the Muslims went from Mecca to Abyssinia for Hijrah, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "What? You're going to go there to an area that has a ruler who is just, right? And you're not going to experience injustice in it, right?" So now, how did they behave? When they came into a pressure, okay, that they have to meet the king, and now they have to have a stand here, okay? So what did they say? Can you imagine say what we say today? Can you imagine Ja'far ibn Abi Talib standing there, says, "You want to sing your Christmas song and we'll sing our, Okay? No, al-haq is al-haq, and this is it. Okay? So, but those who argue this point try to tell you, to put you in confrontation and say, "Oh, so he opened the door for you and take you in and so forth. Now they are kuffar now, Okay, they are very good for you, and now you tell them are kuffar, as if you either accept everything or you look at them as enemy and kuffar. That was not it. And in Ja'far ibn Abi Talib and the Muslimin, they dealt with the situation as they did confront the shirk, but at the same time give da'wah to the mushrikeen, and the king became a Muslim, right? And we know that for sure. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed janazah on him after he died. Okay, so yes, there is an absolute haqq, and you hold to that absolute haqq. Okay, you cannot be wishy-washy with the creed that we have, and the idea of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Please, if you'd like, inshallah, to make any comments.
Information that was given right before this 3 eyes that we did today really gives a true path for someone who is listening to the revelation coming through the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that instead of, here it says, فَمَا لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا قِبَلَكَ مُهْطِعِينَ. You know? So what is the matter with those who disbelieve, that they hasten to listen from you, you know, not for guidance, but to belie and to disprove, to reject the truth. This is the heart that is not really looking for guidance. You know, it is a sick heart that tries to, challenge the truth coming from Allah. So here, I think, it sounds like, okay, if they have that kind of attitude, leave them alone. It's like, okay, like a threatening statement for them, leave them alone. Leave them alone. We know where the end is going to be. Because of the rejections. And the scientists that you say today, because of their hidden agendas, instead of letting the research go and take its course, and then accept the results of the research towards the end of it, because initially they may not know what the result is going to be, but to manipulate the research and say we want the end result to be like this.
Even after the scientists said, we're going to take the word khaliq out, creator, and we're going to put the natural choice or the natural selection or something like that. It's too late. No.
Yes, the designer, whatever it is. Something like that. They don't want to mention al-khaliq and something like that, because it will go,
and we fall in the same trap when we discuss it with them. We say we believe that there is an intelligent designer.
Yes.
No, we believe there is a khaliq.
That's right.
Yeah.
Allah is Sheikh Mahmoud, Wallahi as-Sabur. He looks at all of these things, and all violations is being done on him, but yet he will increase them in the knowledge. Whatever they need, he will give it to them, because this is their dunya, and they have to indulge in this. And he's as-Sabur. His forbearing is unbelievable.
Yeah, he is not the intellectual one. He is the creator. He is. Right? Yeah, he is the creator. Okay, and he is the knowledgeable one, but not the intellectual one.
SubhanAllah. As opposed to that ruler, what's that Badawi? He came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he read the ayah, some ayah from the Quran. I don't exactly remember, but it says, that who made Allah upset? Something like that. He's the one who
فَوَرَبِّ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ.
Yes, that. And this is the one who.
إِنَّهُ لَحَقٌّ مِثْلَ مَا أَنَّكُمْ تَنْطِقُونَ.
Right? He does not know anything. And he was mentioning it from his own experience, mentioning that, the pieces of the camel indicates this and indicates that. Who denies the existence of Allah?
القدم يدل على المسير والبعرة تدل على البعير. أفلا سماء ذات أبراج وأرض ذات فجاج وبحار ذات أمواج ألا يدل كل ذلك على اللطيف الخبير.
Someone who has an honest observation comes into conclusion that Allah is one.
Mhm.
The fitra,
Yeah.
plain, sincere fitra should die.
Yes, which is the words that Allah took, the covenant. Alastu barabbikum qalu bala. That's what the fitra is.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
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 Subhanallah.
Hmm?
Oh.
له
يخوض ويلعب.
يخوض ت- خاض يخوض. Yeah. What does it mean? To go into matters without knowing what it is. Okay? Okay? Yeah, meaning when you go and you don't know where you're stepping. Right? You go into the unknown now. Okay? Yeah.
You know,
The beginning of the beginning.
the meaning of it is involved in some kind of discussion or something like that. Now, just getting involved, engaged. Is that right, Rashan?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is about a conversation that they have, an argument that they make with the messengers. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
They deny that there is a hereafter. They deny this. So they argue about the unseen. MashaAllah. You say it for a couple of words that I tried to say it in 3 sentences. Yeah. 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 I love Amir when he talks about science. Yeah. I love Amir when he puts down the science that he's in, you know. Mhm.
They cannot do anything else. They have to, everything has to fall into place. They're too tied up, if you will.
Mhm.
They cannot think for themselves.
Mhm.
They're not free. They have no freedom at all in thinking. To think anything, right?
Mhm.
They cannot think anything. They can, as soon as the assumption of, well, it should be believed that there is a fear,
Yes.
comes up, they close their mind. Hold on.
But at the same time, they open to mind and believe when it is benefiting them. So the matter began with just a chance.
But
Right.
they would never, ever, ever have a fruitful argument or take the argument in the favor of having believers.
Correct, but they tell it happened by coincidence. There is no way. Yeah, you're right, but the point is, they're not using their methods when they're making that conclusion.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. They take an assumption
Yes.
and a big one.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know if I read it somewhere, or but I know I read it somewhere. That have theism or no theism, atheism, both cannot be wrong.
Mhm.
Logically, or using empirical methods, neither of them can be proved or disproved.
Mhm.
You cannot prove using a scientific method there is a creator. You
Mhm.
cannot disprove by scientific method there is a creator.
Mhm.
You cannot prove by scientific method there is everything is by chance. You can't disprove that everything is by chance. That's very easy to do.
Mhm.
So if you're choosing the one thing that you can easily disprove, what does that tell you about you?
Mhm.
You're too restricted in what you
MashaAllah.
want to be blind.
MashaAllah.
You choose
MashaAllah.
to be blind.
Why don't you write this down?
There are people who have written this down,
Okay.
all of these things, and in a much better way.
Mhm.
So, I feel like, they're slaves to this kind of thinking. They have no way out. And this
Mm.
What awaits them is the worst, but they're already in it because they can't think outside their own box. They're
Mhm.
caged in there.
Mhm.
And whoever dares to do so, it basically sends shockwaves in the community.
Mhm.
I remember reading I think it was a paper. It was a paper, how Christian missionaries write papers
Mhm.
about Bible and other kind of things
Mhm.
in Christianity. So there's one of this very famous. He was a minister or something in the ministry or whatever. He wrote a paper and it sent shockwaves throughout the Christian community. Why? He started by saying, "I converted into Muslim."
Oh.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Would somebody hype up
He used to be a Christian
minister, missionary,
minister, yeah, okay.
academic, scholar in their Christianity, and he comes up and says, "I accepted Islam. This is the right way." And then he writes, what can you do about that? You cannot take the paper back because it's him.
Mhm.
So I read about this and I was like, wow, this is something. There's something about Islam now. Because two things happened. First, he jumped into it. Like something had changed him. Because he knew a lot about other things. He knew a lot about he researched Christianity. And then he took the leap of faith, he accepted Islam. It was very clear for him there is no other choice. And then the other thing was that he wrote a paper about it. He announced it formally. So he came out with it, not being politically correct.
Mhm.
He was very aggressive about it.
Mhm.
He's being not aggressive, honest.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
That is academic honesty.
Yes.
What these scientists are doing, that's academic dishonesty.
Mhm.
Because you're changing papers based on where it's going to be accepted.
Yes.
And this is probably one of the reasons I left research. Because the only reason I joined research was because it had no politics in it. I thought so, and no biases or this thing or no pressure from other people. As soon as I came here, I saw it's all about funding. Who gives you funding? You have to please them. Your
Right.
papers, you research data is always manipulated.
Yes.
Most of the time manipulated. It's very difficult to find authentic papers. So subhanAllah, this entire world, this is just a game, right? Just a game they're trapped in. And al-hakum al-takasur.
No.
Their efforts are diverse. And in their diverse efforts, they're exhausted right now. They're caged right now. They're slaves to their own selves. They have no way out.
Yes.
Mhm.
So who's the one that is oppressed? Are we the oppressed one? Who's the one that is free? Aren't we the free ones?
Mhm.
Because we can easily, freely accept there is a free will. We can easily accept our default position, our programming, default setting, which is not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just these I have. This is what they tell me.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
I'm glad I left that one.
Working research, there is a lot of hijacking of ideas too,
Yes.
Somebody presents something, and they silence them, and then like this drug right now
Yeah.
for COVID, somebody's idea was, unknown lady kind of, from some other country. When she presented the idea, they rejected, it doesn't work, it will never work. And now everyone is after it. So
Yeah, that happens a lot.
basically sideline,
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
not all the time, but
Yeah, but it happens. It does happen. You're right.
Discredit, right? The
yeah,
results.
like this, the Fauci thing and all this,
Yeah.
and other researchers here, they have big institute. So somebody, when the HIV was discovered, somebody from France sent them a sample here, analyzed. They hid it in the freezer for a long time, because they were working on the similar, but they didn't have a conclusion at that time that it's going. So, but finally, when the Nobel Prize, all this, they didn't get it, but they were trying to, hide someone else's idea. Virus was behind, a long time ago.
Yeah, there's research mafia, if you will.
Yeah, you look at the Nobel Prize that's given to the. No. No, it's just making a comment that, you know, you go to the Muslim world and look at those who receive Nobel Prizes, okay? Those who are actually working against the idea of al-Khaliq.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
How about the contributions to humanity, the sciences of the Muslims?
Mm-hmm.
You start from mathematics and science,
Mm-hmm.
all the fields.
Mm-hmm.
That no credit is given to the Islamic civilizations, the Muslims who contribute to all of these achievements, but you take their ideas and you implement that.
Mm-hmm.
You take it like as if you have created it,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So, this probably, when you look at through history, it is probably not new. But whenever an event, uncovers such a research or such an event, whatever it is, then you remember maybe, going through history, that this is what has been happening.
Mm-hmm.
There is one Sheikh Mohammed name, this chemist from Egypt, Zohair. He got the Nobel Prize in chemistry.
Okay.
Very authentic person. They recognize him. He is in Egypt. But he set up a lot of chemistry. So, Zohair or Zohair something.
Yeah, Zuwail. Zuwail, I think. Yes.
His work is very semi.
Mm-hmm.
You know what he worked on?
I think it's somewhere in US.
No, I mean, what kind of research was
Organic
it?
chemistry.
Oh, okay.
Very high level, compared to the very knowledgeable. I didn't read the whole thing, but it's been a while since I.
So you're saying every now and then there's some out there that works out there too?
There are, but it's just
Yeah.
back on, not here, also in other countries, but they're kind of sideline.
Yeah.
But he was in US, so that's how he got.
So,
And also, they don't get recognized here. Like the I think they're Turkish originally, the Moderna, and others too, but somehow they get mixed. Yeah, like the Apple person who died, his parents were half Muslim or something. The one who, no, not, he died like 10 years, 5 years. Apple, no,
Steve Jobs?
Steve, yeah, I think.
He wasn't half Muslim. He wasn't. He was.
His
I
father
think
is.
His father was.
He's from Syria.
yeah, something like.
Oh.
I read it.
But his father, we don't know if he was married to someone or not.
Yeah. Shame.
We don't want to make khawd. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Also, the
Now you know what that word means.
yeah, the Fareed, the person behind this Nobel discovery, the Viagra thing. He is also Muslim. Fareed Murad.
Really?
Yeah.
Heard the name.
Yeah.
Who did what?
Fareed Murad.
What did he do?
The vasodilator thing. The famous medicine now, Viagra. Yeah. Originally, they discovered the mechanism. Working on something, discovered something. He published, but initially the work got rejected in many. So they published in not too high level journals, average journals. Some have impact factor 100, some have 1. So like we have papers in 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 10 at the most. But some people have all the time 40, 30. One citation is 40 points. Our one citation is 1 point sometimes. What you
Yeah,
call
that's what I want to do. Is talk about research, not PhD.
yeah, so his he
Not
said
with people.
so he published, so it was like 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they gave recognized
say that the tree that God told Adam and his wife not to eat from is the tree of Ma'rifah.
Yeah.
The tree of knowledge. Okay? Because God was afraid that they would know. Okay? So they ate from it. So they ate from the tree of knowledge that tells them what is shar and what is khayr, what is good and what is bad. You understand? So the concept is now, from day one, they say that man now is competing with God. God didn't want him to eat from this because he competes with him. Now, man themselves know what is good and what is bad by eating from this. And that's why God got them out, because he was afraid, God was afraid that they would eat from other trees that he would give them more information and would compete even more with God.
Okay.
So
So,
if you start off like that,
isn't that the code of religion? You know?
SubhanAllah, when you talk about creation, I mean, Allah's example is the best example, obviously. But in terms of creating things, usually when I create software, my biggest fear is that it will not work. There's never the fear that it will know more than me, know more than what I programmed it to.
Right.
So usually never happens. That they say that they show that in the movies, but it's hardly the case. Usually it's much inferior than you. So I don't know where they get it from. Intellect or what kind of intellect is that? Because in terms of observation, things are really different.
yeah, but that happens a long time ago.
Doesn't make any difference. Time is not a factor.
Yeah. No, meaning that the principle itself, the competition is God. God, they're giving the Creator attribute that's not befitting.
Yeah, human-like attributes, yes.
Yeah, but you're saying that the principle of science is the same, and
Using the principle of science and logical reasoning, it doesn't. If they're using reasoning for that, for some reason using reasoning, that doesn't even work. They fail miserably if they use reasoning on that. Because that implies the creation is at the level of the creator, or more. Which means the creator was smart enough to put that in the creation, which basically makes the creator smarter. So that's a logical paradox, right? It cannot happen.
Actually, sometimes we get it slide from our minds that Allah is especially merciful to us. These things that so many learned people are confused, intentionally or unintentionally. They do not want to come to the simple truth. And Alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed us with that we just know that, okay, Allah is Khaliq, Allah is doing this, Allah had forbidden Adam Islam and his wife not to go to the tree, not that what kind of tree is that. Just like Sheikh mentioned a few days ago that from today to the day of judgment, if you go in sujood and do not come out and thank Allah, you cannot thank Allah. So we are especially under Allah's special, already we are under His special mercy. I don't know, maybe Sheikh can do it.
Just knowing who Allah is.
It is such a blessing that we know these simple things that so many learned people have also.
I wouldn't call them learned, I would call them limited.
When they are doing whatever, but they did not get that we already have. Simply Allah has blessed us so much.
I was talking to someone who's, skiing, skis really fast,
over 65. He's 70. Okay.
Faster than his age.
Yeah, you will get better when
So,
you get
so when I
over
tell him,
90.
isn't this, dangerous, this and that, then he tells me, no, but when I look and I calculate as I'm going, even though so fast, of the hill of this and that, and then I said,
Yes. Yes.
You know, some mountains, if you go like in Pakistan, so they take them with the helicopter on the top, because they have never been there.
Yeah.
And when you look down, it's like vertical basically
Yeah.
from the top. So it's so high, like taking and all those
I've
things.
skied in Pakistan.
Really?
And there's a military base which was turned into a civilian base, so people can go there, stay there, there's no hotel. And it's a very nice place. I forgot the name. Ratu. It's called Ratu. So it was really nice. Wow, it's so amazing. But I did fall. And I did fall bad. Looked very bad. I mean, I was okay. I had no problems. But all my gear was like half a kilometer from me. So I felt that bad. My center of gravity is increasing amazing, but it didn't work for me. Yeah, ski is fun, but it was amazing view. SubhanAllah, the sun and the sky and everything. It's just so. When you go to the mountains, especially, you really, you cannot help but see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's work.
Yes,
The
sir.
creation, amazing creation. You cannot escape it. It's all around you. How do you deny that? How do you deny something?
there is a feeling there that
Yeah.
you cannot get in.
It overcomes you.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It makes it so easy to just surrender. And there's freedom in that.
Yes. And also, how about sometimes, human beings, when we are under the pressure, we are depressed, we are in difficulty, and adversity, and the problem surrounds us.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether you're a scientist or a regular person. When you are in that kind of situation, you don't know what to do. When you needed help, that belief that is embedded in you, that you have, Alastu Bala Kun Qal with Bala. We all have submitted to that. Lord,
He's we need to submit to.
So at that point,
Yeah.
it is natural that you deep inside are seeking for the help to be saved.
Yeah.
And the scientists probably know that. But
Yeah,
openly,
no,
because of his arrogance, maybe he may not expose it,
Yeah, as Allah says, let them be.
And
Let them be.
His name Ahmed Hassan Zuhair.
Zuhair,
Yeah.
okay.
And he got his education in Alexandria.
yes.
MS and PhD here, but MS and BS. So not very old.
You got it, huh? Through Google.
Yeah, but I knew the name was like sometimes you're not sure what it is. But he got his PhD here, which is like difficult. Then he works in California. California Institute of Technology is very famous actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it's hard to get in there actually. Worldwide. Some
Yes.
people get envy to go there. Like NIH here.
Yes.
We accidentally ended up here. Then people don't know, and go, how did you get in? I don't know. I just applied,